discussed about the trigonometry, right? So really quickly, let's go through and recapitulate what was discussed earlier. So trigonometry means it is an area which discuss with a right angle triangle and how we use it to find the heights, distances, etc. Okay, just let me take a real world scenario. Real world scenario. Just assume that an aeroplane is flying. An aeroplane is flying. Okay. Uh, then let's say that it is flying at an altitude. Altitude means height of say 1,200 feet above the ground. Okay, and it has to land, and the pilot knows that he's having some different instruments, and he knows that the angle of depression. I'll explain maybe in later what is an angle of depression, etc. Okay, let's say that he has to bring it down, and here the angle is 45 degrees, and he has to bring it down in this direction. Okay, so that the flight touches at this point and it lands safely on the runway, right? So here we know that what is the height. We know that what is the height of the flight, and we know what angle the flight is to be descended. Then how long the flight has to descend, that means how long it has to travel. These kind of questions can be solved by using trigonometry. Okay, so let me go to the next page. Here in today's class, quickly we'll be reviewing the topic which you learned earlier, that is Sokatova. Okay, so what is Sokatova means? Before that, let me draw once again a right angle triangle, and then, okay, a right triangle is drawn, and this is 90 degrees. This little square indicates that 90 degrees. I hope you remember that. Okay, and the longest side, I say that the side opposite to 90 degrees, this is known as hypotenuse. This is known as hypotenuse. Okay, the unknown angle. You know, in math, the unknown value usually we take an English alphabet which is called as a variable. Let's say that x. But here the unknown angle I'm taking using this symbol. This is called as theta. This is a Greek letter. Okay. So what is sine theta? What is sine theta? I'm writing sin, but don't pronounce it as sin. It is sine. Okay, because the spelling is sine, but I'm taking only the first three letters. Sine theta equals to opposite side to theta over hypotenuse. Next, cos theta. It is actually cosine theta, but we take only the first three letters as cos theta. That is adjacent side to theta over hypotenuse. And the third one is tangent. We take first three letters as tan theta, which is opposite side to theta over adjacent side to theta. So here already we identified which is hypotenuse, the side opposite to 90 degrees. Then this is called as opposite side to theta. Always I personally prefer to draw this kind of arrow mark so that I will never make a mistake. This is the opposite side. And next, the side which is next to the angle other than hypotenuse, we call this one as a adjacent side. This is called as adjacent side. Adjacent side. You know, how can you remember this sine equals to opposite over hypotenuse, cos equals to adjacent over hypotenuse, and so on means already we discussed in the previous class that you take the first letter, like in sine, the first letter is S. The first letter is S. And in the numerator, the first letter is O. The numerator is opposite side to theta. The first letter is O, and the denominator is hypotenuse. The first letter is H. So we take the first letters of all these trigonometric ratios. So SOH, then C, that is cos theta equals to adjacent side over hypotenuse. Tan, the first letter is T, numerator is opposite side to theta, denominator is adjacent side to adjacent side to theta, and we take the first letters. We take the first letters and we say that it is S O H S O H, that is so, and the second ratio is a C A H. This is how SOHCAHTOA is formed. This is how SOHCAHTOA is formed. Okay, my bad, I did not write completely opposite side to theta, and the denominator is adjacent side to theta, that I forgot to write. That's fine, that works. Next, right. So find the value of each trigonometric ratio. Always I prefer to write my SOHCAHTOA every time, which is SOH CAH TOA. Again, I strongly recommend you to write SOHCAHTOA spelling correctly. Okay? Because SOHCAHTOA, you may remember the word, I mean this sentence kind of thing, but when you write it, when you make a mistake while writing the spelling, like SOHCO, COH, if you write, you will mess it up. Okay, I don't want you to do that, so please do write the entire spelling. Coming to the first question, I see that it is SI and sine. So sine means I have to go with the first part, which is SOH. Right? So let me write S, leave sufficient space, then O, and the denominator is H. So SOH, right? Then please do write in full sense, that is sine, and please pay attention and hear whatever the letter is given, that is really plays an important role. So please do write the letter also. Okay, don't be lazy and don't skip this one. So please do write this one too. So O stands for, that is opposite side to. Please do write everything clearly, including the letter. So it is opposite side to C over hypotenuse. Okay. If I were you, my strategy will be, first of all, let me identify what is hypotenuse. Because we all know that the side opposite to 90 degrees is hypotenuse. So let me identify what is hypotenuse first. Then the next one is we are dealing with the letter C. So sine C means here is, let me identify that C is here, and opposite side. Sine is opposite side over the hypotenuse. So opposite side means I love to draw this kind of arrow mark so that I know that I will never make a mistake. Okay, so opposite side to C means here which is AB, and I know what is hypotenuse, which is AC here, and then just plug in the numbers. AB is going to be 21 and hypotenuse is 29. As far as possible, express the given fraction in its lowest terms, then 21 over 29. I know that The numerator and denominator cannot be divisible by either 2 or 3 or any other number. Therefore, it is already in its lowest terms. Therefore, this is going to be my final answer for sin C. Now, coming to the second one is cos C. Cos C. So, as I told you before, please feel free to write Sokatova as much as possible, as many times as possible, so that you will never make a mistake. So, Sokatova, Toa. So this time I'm going to write for cos. Cos means that's going to be my second part of the statement, which is CAH. Therefore, cos. So CAH is the denominator. Therefore, cos. What is the letter given? Please do give preference to this letter. So cos C equals to cos C equals to A stands for, let me elaborate this one, it is adjacent side to whatever the letter is given, that one is to be taken, adjacent side to C over H stands for hypotenuse. As I mentioned before, please do identify what is hypotenuse first. The longest side or the side opposite to 90 degrees. Now, keeping the question in view, the question says that adjacent side, you can see that here, this is the adjacent side is in the numerator. So adjacent side means adjacent side to C. Adjacent side to C. So let me identify where C is. Adjacent side means the side next to the angle. Already we identified what is hypotenuse. So other than the hypotenuse, you know what is the adjacent side, okay, which is next to the given angle. So here this is going to be my adjacent side. So now plug in the values. When you plug in the values, adjacent side is BC here, and hypotenuse is AC. Now let's take the values. BC is 36 and AC is 39. Now think for a moment, can I divide the numerator and denominator by 2? I can divide the numerator by 2. Can I divide 39 by 2 means the answer is no. Now, can you divide the numerator 36 by 3 and the denominator by 3? Yeah, it is. Therefore, let's divide the numerator and denominator both by 3. So 36 divided by 3, that gives you 12. 39 divided by 3 is 3. Now I cannot divide the numerator and denominator anymore. Therefore, it is in its lowest terms. This is going to be the value of sin C. Now let's go to the next page, and here let me make a small change. Instead of A, let me take tan C. Okay. So as I told you before, I like to write Sokatova, SOHCAH. Please do write again and again so that you will never make a mistake. This time we are trying to figure out tan C. Therefore, tan means the first letter is T. Therefore, let me take this one, the last part, which is TOA. So tan equals to O over A. Therefore, let me elaborate this one. It is tan theta. Here it is tan C. Else let me write tan theta. Then it is, let's say that I'm little lazy to write. Let's see how I'm going to end up. Okay. So opposite over adjacent. Right? Now, all of you look at the diagram and think which is the opposite side. Which is the opposite side? Actually, when we say that opposite side means immediately our attention may go to this one, which is 12 units. 12 units. Again, when it comes to adjacent, our attention goes to this 35 units. But actually, it is not correct. Not correct. That's the reason. Always, I suggest you to highlight and focus on this one. So here, when I take tan C, it is opposite side to C, opposite side to C. Therefore, which is opposite side to C means, opposite is not 12. This time, we have to look at the diagram in a different perspective, because you see that opposite side is this one, not 12, because we are with reference to point C. With reference to point C, we have to see, right? That is the reason I always suggest you to use the complete one, like adjacent side to C, and use whatever the letter is given. Okay, so what is opposite side to C means, already I discussed with you that this is the opposite side, and we know which is hypotenuse, the side opposite to 90 degrees, right? And this is opposite, obviously. The third one is going to be the adjacent side. Now let's plug in the numbers. Opposite side is 35 units and adjacent side is 12. 12. Now let me ask myself a question, whether 35 is divisible by 2. No. Is 35 divisible by 3? No. Is 35 divisible by 5? Yes, but the denominator is not. Therefore, I don't see a number that divides the numerator and denominator by the same value. Therefore, I say that 35 over 12 is in its lowest terms. Therefore, this is going to be my final answer for finding tan C. Okay. There are 6 questions here. Find the value of each trigonometric ratio to the nearest tenth. If you want a more precise value, I suggest you that take tenths means after decimal just one digit, but I suggest you to take at least 2 decimal places. Okay, 2 decimal places. 2 decimal places. So let me make some change. Instead of tenths, let's take hundreds. Hundreds means after decimal, hundreds. Okay, right. If you have a TI-84 calculator, straight away you can enter and you can do that. Or else what you can do is go to Desmos. Go to Desmos graphing calculator. Okay. Then 1 second, please. So let me open Google here and type Desmos graphing calculator. Okay. So here, click on graphing calculator, and next, the most important thing is, before you start typing the values, we are dealing with the degrees part. So just let me type here, say sine 30, sine 30. Already some values displayed, but if you are doing the calculations in degrees, so please go to the right top, you see that graph settings, you click on that, and change from radians to degrees. Change radians to degrees. Okay, so click it, then you see that a different value. And also, in case if you want to type it, there is at the left bottom there is a keypad. If you click it, then you'll be able to see the keypad. Okay, now let's go back to the question. The question says that what is sine 62? Sine 62. So let me take my Desmos. So SIN, it is not sin. SIN sine 62. You see that it is 0.8829. 8829. Therefore, let me write that the value of sine 62, that is 0.8829. As I told you before, after decimal, I think 2 digits are fair enough. If you want to take more than that, that is also fine. That's also fine. So after decimal, 2 decimal places are fair enough. Next question is cos 60. Cos 60. So please remember, whenever you take the Desmos, please make sure that it is on degrees or radians mode. Depending upon the question, you have to change it. If by default it is on radians, then you have to switch to degrees. Now the second one is cos 60. Therefore, let me type cos, then spacebar 60. Please don't forget to use the keyboard on your laptop. In case if you want the value as a fraction, you please see that on the left side there is a fraction option 2. You see that. Okay, you can take it as a decimal or as a fraction. If you click it, then it changes to 1/2. Or else if you click it back, then you'll get it back 0.5. So if you want as a decimal or a fraction, that is up to you. So let me go to my whiteboard and write that cos 60 equals to 0.5, or else you can write it as a fraction 1/2. It's up to you in which format you want. Do you want as a decimal, or do you want as a fraction? It's up to you. Next, the last one on the left side, that is a tan 79. Tan 79. So let me go to my Desmos calculator, and here it is tan TAN. Oops. Oh, so I have to click enter. Then tan space 79 degrees. Oops. Okay. Let me take a different value. Let's say that cos 31 or sine 14. Okay, let me take sine 14, sine 1, 4. Okay, this is how we have to compute. So let me go to my whiteboard. Sine 14 is 0.241. Is 0.241. As I told you before, after decimal, just 2 places are enough. If you want, you can take maybe third one or fourth one if you want to get more precise value. Okay, so let me take charge of this one. 1 second. Okay, let me share my screen. Well, this is another question here. Find the missing side. Find the missing side round to the nearest tenth. Nearest tenth. So here this is not labeled. If you want, you can label this one of your choice, like something like A, B, C. Okay, and here the angle C is given. Angle C is given as 59, and I know that BC is the hypotenuse. I know that BC is the hypotenuse, and if angle C is given, then X, this is going to be the opposite side. Agreed? Now, let me write SOHCAHTOA, SOHCAHTOA. Now, which one shall I take? Which one shall I take? I see that AB is missing. I know that this is the opposite side to the given angle. Opposite side to the given angle. Now, this is not given. AC is not required anymore. It's not given, it is not required anymore. Therefore, opposite and hypotenuse, we know that opposite and hypotenuse, that occurs in sine. Therefore, let me write SOH, and then which is sine and here it is, let us C is given, so sine C equals to opposite side to C over hypotenuse, over hypotenuse. Now let me plug in these values, which is sine 59 degrees equals to what is the opposite side to C, which is AB, and hypotenuse, which is BC. What is sine 59 means? Let me make use of my graphing calculator on Desmos, which is sine, let me type it now, sine 59, I'm using my graphing calculator and Desmos, 0.8571, 0.8571. So here it is 0.8571 equals to, what is the value of AB means not known, and what is the value of BC or hypotenuse means 17. You know how to isolate, X. We multiply by 17 on both the sides. So 17 gets cancelled. The value of X equals to, let me grab my calculator. Okay, 17 times 0.8571, 14.571. So it is 14.571. That's fine. So 14.57 is the value of X. So these kind of questions are straight questions. But what kind of questions actually will you be asked means, for example, let's say that there is a tall tree. And this is casting a shadow on the ground. I'm not really a good artist, but just okay. This is sun and sun rays. Okay, I'm sorry, it's not really good. Okay, so this one is making a right triangle, and the shadow on the ground. Let's say that the shadow of the tree on the ground is say 5 meters long. The length of the shadow is 5 meters, and let's say that we are using an instrument, and by using that we can measure the angle. Let's say that the angle is some 42 degrees, and what is the height of the tree? So here I see that of course here the letters, I did not mention any names, or I did not label this one. So here 42 degrees is the reference angle. This is the reference angle. So let me label it as P, Q, and R. So angle P is given as 42 degrees, angle P is given as 42 degrees, and I don't know what is the height of the tree, which is the opposite side, right? And next, this is hypotenuse. There is nothing to do with hypotenuse in this particular case. And I know if this is the angle and the side next to the angle, we call this one as adjacent side. You know that this is the adjacent side. So where do you find adjacent side? Where do you find adjacent side and the opposite side? You know, that can be found in Sokatova. Of course, I know the answer. Just I'm trying to explain to you. So let me think of Sokatova. Therefore, it's going to be any idea. So here, let me take tan. Let me take tan P equals to opposite side to P over adjacent side to P. So here the angle is 42 degrees, opposite side to P I don't know. What is the opposite side to P? I don't know. So let it be X. Adjacent side, you can see that that is 5 units. I mean 5 meters. And let me use my graphing calculator, uh, Desmos, to find what is the value of tan 42. Tan 42. Let me type tan 42. I see at 0.9. Okay, so it is point. My bad, I forgot the value. It is zero point 0.9. Okay, so it is zero point 0.9 equal to x over 5. You know how to isolate x. So we have to eliminate the denominator part. So times 5 times 5. So 5 and 5 gets cancelled. I get x equals to 5 times zero point 0.9, 4.5 meters. So that's the height of the tree. That's the height of the tree, which is 4.5 meters.